ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਸੂਬੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੜ੍ਹ ਨੇ ਤਬਾਹੀ ਮਚਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਐਮਰਜੈਂਸੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਬਿਲ ਬਲੇਅਰ ਨੇ BC ਵਿੱਚ ਹੜ੍ਹ, ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਖਿਸਕਣ ਅਤੇ ਤੂਫਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਾਅ ਦੇ ਯਤਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਲਈ ਪੇਸ਼ਗੀ ਅਦਾਇਗੀ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਬਲੇਅਰ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਲਵਾਯੂ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਦਰਤੀ ਆਫਤਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਅਤਿਅੰਤ ਮੌਸਮੀ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਣ ਲਈ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਆਪਣੇ ਭਾਈਵਾਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਜ਼ਬੂਤ ਰੱਖਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ।
And that's why we are here this afternoon. And today I'm very pleased to announce that our government, the federal government of Canada, is providing over $870 million in advance payments to the government of British Columbia through the Disaster Financial Assistance Arrangement to support the flood, landslide and storm recovery and rebuilding efforts that are taking place right across this province. This money is in addition to the $270 million that we provided to the province last month in support of the 2021 wildfire recovery efforts. That we are gathered today on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, including the territories of the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh nations. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the people of Lytton First Nation and the village of Lytton and their surrounding communities, as well as those of Matthias Kulum Cree Nation in northern Manitoba, who are currently grappling with devastating impact of wildfires. And I'd like to also thank the firefighters, the first responders, and all emergency management officials for their excellent work. Our thoughts are with you during this incredibly difficult time, and we are grateful for your work. 2021 was an incredibly challenging year for British Columbians, and from the extreme heat wave and wildfires that tore through the village of Lytton and surrounding communities to the flooding and landslides that we saw last November, in their immediate aftermath, Prime Minister Trudeau and Premier Horgan formed a committee to enable us to work together to find solutions for the collective good of communities across the province. It was a committee intended to ensure that the silos that existed previously among governments and among the First Nations were overcome by improved communication, collaboration, and cooperation between the parties. And I can advise that the work of this committee has stood as a true testament to the power of working together from government to government and nation to nation. And throughout British Columbia and right across Canada, we have seen that floods, landslides, wildfires, and other extreme weather events are affecting the lives and livelihoods of thousands of Canadians. And with some regularity, we are seeing the devastation that far too many communities have had to endure as a result of the real and growing threat posed by climate change. The governments of British Columbia and Canada, working together with the First Nations Leadership Council, have been working to ensure that our responses to recent and future disasters are coordinated and effective, and that there is a concentrated focus on building greater resiliency for generations to come. For far too long, Indigenous people were seen as a vulnerable group when it came to disasters, when in fact their knowledge and lived experience can provide us with an opportunity as we look to better manage emergencies. They must be key partners and given the necessary resources to keep their citizens and their communities safe. And when we understand, respect, and leverage their traditional knowledge, which comes from people who have been managing land and mitigating disasters for millennia, I believe all Canadians will benefit and we will be stronger for our collaborative effort together. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Regional Chief Terry Chiji, Mr. Robert Phillips from the First Nations Summit, and Kupke Judy Wilson from the Union of British Columbia Indian Chiefs for their invaluable contributions to the success of this committee. And while we have short-term plans and long-term solutions to get done, let me also acknowledge that I have spoken with mayors and residents in impacted communities, and in these conversations, many of them have made it clear that what they need right now is funding so that they can return to their homes and get back to their lives.